In the days after Charlie was killed, everything he built seems to be unraveling, and the person at the center of that change is the woman he trusted most. Erica Kirk now leads Turning Point USA, and many are accusing her of turning Charlie's death into a personal advantage. Even Charlie's own parents are now speaking out. Erica's behavior since Charlie's death looks nothing like his parents' response. She has been laughing in public, appearing on podcasts, doing interviews, and mentioning unreleased material. By contrast, Robert and Kimberly Kirk have stayed out of the spotlight, completely silent during the worst loss any parent can face. The whole situation raises red flags. Charlie's parents were not strangers to power. His father had direct ties to Donald Trump while his mother worked in healthcare. Charlie helped get Donald Trump elected, and his body was flown on Air Force Two by the vice president. Yet his parents have not publicly supported Erica, even though she says she is carrying on Charlie's work. Why are they pulling away from her? Let us dig into it.
We have some breaking news now. Turning Point USA, headquartered in Phoenix, Arizona, has just announced that Erica Kirk has been elected the new CEO and chair of their board. That organization has explained it this way on X. In prior discussions, Charlie expressed to multiple executives that this is what he wanted in the event of his death. When Erica addressed the nation after Charlie Kirk's death, she promised her husband's legacy would live on.
Charlie, I promise I will never let your legacy die, baby. I won't. I promise I'll make Turning Point USA the biggest thing that this nation has ever seen.
Robert Willard Kirk. Charlie's father was reportedly instrumental in designing one of New York's most famous structures, Trump Tower, and sources say he was known to be on friendly terms with Trump, who admired his intellect. Kimberly, his mother, spent her career in roles that required emotional skill and discretion, starting out as a trader at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and later moving into mental health services. People describe Kimberly as the stabilizing force who kept Charlie focused, driven, and disciplined. The Kirks were a driven couple active in elite circles, so their sudden disappearance is not accidental. And to those close to the family, their silence speaks loudly, especially as Erica moves forward.
Is my hero and the love of my life. Join me in welcoming Erica.
Here is how it all unfolded. On September 10th, 2025, Charlie Kirk was shot during a debate appearance while on tour at Utah Valley University. He was rushed into an SUV and taken to Timpanogos Regional Hospital in Orem, where he was later pronounced dead. On September 18th, Erica Kirk assumed the role of CEO at Turning Point USA, a $100 million organization often credited with helping drive Trump's victory. Erica, who once held a beauty queen title and has military connections, shared 2 children with Charlie. And until his death, Charlie never indicated she would take his place, which is why Erica's repeated claim that she is acting solely for Charlie surprises many.
The Valley, hopefully we can show them to you, but tell me about some of the stuff you're doing.
Well, right now I'm really making a conscious effort to focus on our military. To me, they're one of the main reasons why I have the freedom of being Miss Arizona USA, and it's an honor to represent my state at its 100th birthday, but I'm making sure that I'm doing things in the community, getting out and helping people. I'm really active actually with my nonprofit called Everyday Heroes Like You. We're entering our 5th year, so I started it when I was 17, so I've been able to travel to the Pentagon, I've been able to meet General Salazar, who's actually out here in Arizona, and I've also been able to donate a Johnny's Locker to the Sojourner Center, which you're looking at right now.
Wow.
So there's been a lot of things that have been going on, from working in the military to to traveling to just being able to get.
In less than 2 weeks after Charlie's death, Erica began steering Turning Point USA in a very different direction and effectively abandoned any push for a full inquiry into the killing. Remember, within hours of Charlie's death, the hashtag Utah cover-up began trending, and many felt this was not random violence. Yet Erica seemed uninterested. There was hardly any focus on Charlie himself, and the conversation shifted quickly to how the organization would proceed. A TikTok about the situation went viral and fueled that shift.
Well, how have we gone from this?
That young man. I forgive him.
Which was the 21st of September, and now 7 days later, we get this.
Nothing is changing, but I want to preface, we're not awkward, we're not like weird, we're not cringe, we're not going to be tweeting as if it's him. That's tone deaf and really disturbing, and anyone who does that's like morbidly off.
Hey, we're going to be doing about 5 more episodes a week now, so just tell the team and make sure that happens.
3 hours of this, 2 more hours of podcasting.
There is just something that just doesn't feel right. It feels wrong. It feels off. And I am trying so hard not to over-speculate, but it's hard when stuff like this is being put out to us. It's just not normal. It doesn't feel natural. I feel like we're watching a performance. It's almost like we're watching a movie unfold right in front of our eyes. And it's things like this that make me think that Charlie Kirk's assassination is so much bigger than we could ever.
The bigger twist is that Charlie's parents never stepped forward to back this transition or assist Erica. Usually, a family draws closer after a loss, but here the opposite happened. The Kirks kept their distance. Even at the funeral, where they appeared barely able to cope, Erica was out booking podcast appearances. That behavior stunned many, and then Erica said something that shocked people even more.
They are trying to replace Usha Vance with Erica Kirk, because Erica Kirk and JD Vance is their Christian nationalist wet dream. And you won't convince me otherwise. Because what is this? What is this body language? When did we start putting our hands up in the hair of our friends when we hug? Yeah, no. You don't. This is weird. Oh, and then there's this one. JD, why are your hands so low? There's no reason for them to be on her hips, but there they are. But if that's not enough, here is her introducing him at Turning Point.
I am tremendously blessed and honored tonight to be able to introduce to you a very, very dear friend and his wife. They are incredible. And I see no one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD and Vice President JD Vance. I do.
And if you're not convinced yet that they're trying to replace her with Erica Kirk, this is him when asked by a student about him and his wife's difference in like their religious beliefs, and he ends it with this.
Do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way.
He wants her to fall in line. He wants her to be a Christian nationalist, just like him. And if he can't convince her, he'll find a new one.
Love you, Erica. Charlie, 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 Charlie. Love you, Erica. Charlie, Charlie.
She was seen embracing another man and commented, "You see your husband in him less than a month after your husband dies," which struck many as odd. No matter how you look at it, Charlie would not have surrendered control of Turning Point USA easily. Yet a new leader is now in charge, and the probe into his death has largely stalled.
Uncomfortable with the fact that despite all the friends that Charlie Kirk made, all the schmoozing that he did, presidents, right, department heads, I am the only person that is publicly demanding further investigation into his assassination. Why? It's totally rubbing me the wrong way. Something's not right here. Even Turning Point USA, they're just like, we've accepted, obviously there are holes in this narrative, and they're just like, we're gonna just keep up his show. What is going on? Actually, I'm just waiting for everybody to like join me. Where are Charlie's homies at? Why are you guys all silent? Something's not right. I know it's not right, okay? We don't know now, but we know. You know? We don't know, but we know. And soon, we're going to know now.
Fellow conservative commentator Candace Owens speaking out on her YouTube platform addressing her late friend.
But I don't want today to be about anything other than you guys knowing that Charlie really was an amazing person. You know, he was like, we were really close. And he was my best friend and my brother. And I will never unsee the footage of what I saw.
Candace Owens, who previously worked with Charlie Kirk at Turning Point USA, had her YouTube live stream freeze tonight because more than 115,000 viewers tuned in.
Everything Charlie worked to create is slowly being eroded. His mission is fraying, and his death appears to be used to push a political agenda. Tenets Charlie and Turning Point USA once championed are being discarded, and policies he opposed are now being implemented under his name.
You hope that Charlie Kirk's death won't be used by a group we now call bad actors to create a society that was the opposite of the one he worked to build. You hope that. You hope that a year from now, the turmoil we're seeing in the aftermath of his murder won't be leveraged to bring hate speech laws to this country. And trust me, if that does happen, there is never a more justified moment for civil disobedience than that, ever, and there never will be. Because if they can tell you what to say, they're telling you what to think. There is nothing they can't do to you because they don't consider you human. They don't believe you have a soul. A human being with a soul, a free man, has a right to say what he believes. Not to hurt other people, but to express.
When parents stay totally silent after a child is murdered, it is rarely accidental. It is a decision Charlie's parents are choosing to step away from Erica and her vision for Turning Point USA. Charlie's siblings are also quiet. They have not been seen meeting with Erica or publicly mourning alongside her. Why that is remains unclear.
I didn't know anything about Charlie Kirk's parents. I just saw a video about this, and it had literally never occurred to me that no one is talking about. We have not heard from or seen footage of anybody other than Erica and the freaking vice president and Usha anywhere involved in the situation. And every news outlet has the same like little snippets, and it's that his mother was a mental health care provider and his father was an architect and his father was involved in the building of and the design of Trump Tower in New York. I literally can't even find their names anywhere. They are not really listed. They're he has a younger sibling too, and they are just completely out of the picture, which is insane. In a high profile moment like this, it is insane that the only person that we are hearing from or seeing involved in anything is his wife. And that gives you such a huge window into what that family dynamic is like. Obviously, I always sort of assumed he had no relationship with his mom because the hatred of women, it has to come from somewhere, and generally it would come from that space. And maybe that's the case, that none of them talk to him, but it's really strange that someone with 8 million followers that had his body transported on Air Force 2 just doesn't have.
He knew that evil wins when good people stay silent. And so for the rest of my life, I will make sure that I don't stay silent. I'll keep speaking the truth, no matter the cost. No matter the cost. And I pray that all of you do too.
Guys to know about Charlie is he also used to dream very vividly. And because we traveled together so much, he would wake up, we would text, and he would tell me about those vivid dreams. And we talked about a lot of things, as you do when you get to know somebody. We talked about the spiritual realm. We talked about religion, our faith, most importantly, what our life's purpose was. And there was this period in April where Charlie kept insisting to me over and over again that he was going to die young. In fact, he told me that Turning Point USA was going to be the death of him. I'm going to show you some of those messages now, a particular set of messages that were written on April 6th, 2018, just a couple of weeks before Kanye tweeted, "I love the way Candace Owens thinks," which is relevant because a lot of things changed after that tweet. And it's relevant because Charlie sensed that something big was about to happen. And I think that is what the something big was. We were again talking about Kanye. Charlie wrote to me, "You're going to be the Iron Lady of America." He had such a political vision for me. I never wanted that sort of a thing. I see it so freaking clearly. I might be Moses, though. I might not see this whole thing through. LMAO. If that is the case, be my David. I said, "Dude, you haven't even realized your power yet. You're so young," was what I was thinking. He said, "If I tell you the true prophecy that I know in my gut, it's really sad, but I hope it's wrong." He went on to say, "Anyway, I am not sure if I will live to see the end of this revolution. I believe you were the piece that God meant me to meet that will finish the fight. Since the beginning of TPUSA, I knew in my gut that I might get wiped out at any time. I cannot explain it, but I dream about it all the time, like all the time. Anyway, that's depressing combo for another time, LMAO. I said, "That's weird, more of a fear manifestation than an actualization." He said, "I'm not really afraid of it, but I'm just telling you what I know to be true." And he told me that. I don't know why. Charlie knew he was going to die young. And I don't know. I just felt like I needed to share that because it is in part why the moment that Charlie got shot, I just knew he was betrayed spiritually. In the same way that Charlie knew that he was going to die young, I knew that this was a...
TPUSA later verified that those texts were authentic.
Show to address some of the things that have been going around on public, namely about a group text chain that has been made known and released by Candace Owens. And I just want to address it head on because, that was a screen grab that I had shared with people. So it is authentic. And I want to go into it because I actually am really excited that the truth is out there.
Charlie did not go quietly. If anything, he seemed ready, and so were those around him. Candace Owens is breaking the silence, saying things others will not. She asserts that Charlie was betrayed.
Not the Trump administration. I said a boulevard in Israel. It's pretty clear. Not clear. What she said was, they, the Fed, give you a boulevard when that's a sure sign that they have killed you. You know that they have killed you. He was betrayed in the worst way possible, giving so much of his life to the Trump presidency, to politics. The federal government, the Trump administration killed Charlie Kirk is the claim. Now I'm going to tell you how I feel about it, what I think about it. Because you know who else would have to be involved? And this is the implication, of course, by design, and you can see the response with people out there saying, oh, well, then anyone who's close to, this is an inside job. You know who's really close to President Trump, and you know who people are now saying stood to gain? Well, Charlie's wife, Erica Kirk, who has now been put, Candace with that language, with this accusation, has put the wife of Charlie Kirk, and she'll say, that's not what I tried to do. It is. It's the result. Erica Kirk in the crosshairs. It's not like you have to look through 6 degrees of separation.
Any guesses? This is the man who was the architect and the project manager behind the construction of Trump Tower in New York City in 1979. His name is Robert Willard Kirk, a very successful architect in his day. And he also just happens to be Charlie Kirk's father. Yes, so not only did Charlie Kirk's father help design and build a true eyesore in New York City, but he also helped create Charlie Kirk, who has not only just been an eyesore, but just agonizing to exist with as well. This really just must have been some kind of an omen, because some of the earliest protests and movements against Donald Trump began in the late 70s, early 80s, as New Yorkers were not happy about Trump Tower becoming part of their block. Like the fact that Charlie Kirk's father was being protested along with Trump for building Trump Tower. And now in present day, Charlie Kirk is also being protested, still with Donald Trump. Of course, Charlie Kirk has always adored Trump. he helped make their family even wealthier than they already were before Charlie even came into the world. Just a little interesting tidbit of information that I thought you should know, but I'm sure some of you already felt that anyway, because at this point I feel we are able to sniff out Nepo babies.
The mistrust goes beyond Erica. According to Candace Owens, this conspiracy reaches high levels of government. Several investigators have pointed out oddities in the official story. Notably, there was no ballistics report or autopsy done, and some sources claim Erica specifically requested that no autopsy take place.
No, the government is lying to us about what happened to Charlie. I went back and watched all of the news from September 10th. Let me tell you what I found. The timeline is off. You know how I know it? After Charlie was assassinated, and they said Tyler ran off the building into the woods and put his gun back together and left it there on a towel. The FBI stated later that evening that the rifle that they found, this .30-06 rifle, was in fact the weapon that was used to assassinate Charlie Kirk. So the question is, how did they know that was the weapon that was used by Tyler? No ballistics had been done on the gun yet. No ballistics had been done on anything yet. No autopsy had been done yet, if there is one been done at all. Basically, all they did was they found a firearm in the woods and said this was the weapon that was used. That is freaking impossible. It's impossible. That's no different than when I was a cop. If we had a shooting on a Friday night and I was working on Sunday afternoon and somebody calls and says, hey, I found this gun on the side of the road, and I pick it up and go, oh my gosh, this was the gun that was used Friday night. There is no way to know that. It takes days or weeks for them to get this weapon and fire it and do ballistics on it to find.
Meanwhile, we are told a 22-year-old walked up, shot Charlie, and confessed the next day, even though the FBI had little time to respond. Reports say Tyler Robinson left a confession note, which raises questions. If he planned to hide, why leave a note? Also, since Kash Patel assumed leadership, observers note a curious pattern of school shooters carving messages into bullets.
You state your name. Tyler James Robinson.
This was Tyler Robinson's first court appearance since being arrested on suspicion of murdering political activist Charlie Kirk, fatally shot while speaking at a university campus in Utah a week ago.
Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
The 22-year-old appeared virtually from a special unit at Utah County Jail, wearing a vest designed to stop him from self-harming.
Caused the death.
Charlie Kirk was a hugely influential ally of Donald Trump, with a massive following online. Prosecutors allege Robinson confessed to killing him in a hidden note to a roommate left under a keyboard.
The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, quote, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. Police found a photograph of this note. After reading the note, the roommate responded, what? You're joking, right? I gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you.
In the text exchange, Robinson's roommate asks him why he did it, to which he replied, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out.
Joe Rogan weighed in too and reached a troubling conclusion. How could someone with no shooting background handle a World War II era firearm and land such a precise shot, he asked.
Father's rifle from World War I and doesn't have a serial code. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. Why? Wait. Why are you using such an old gun? Like, that's kind of crazy. Like, is it possible that an old gun can be that accurate? If you have a gunsmith and they work on it, yeah, it's totally possible. You have a really good gunsmith and he sets, if you're like a nostalgic person, you like driving an old car, you can bring it to a mechanic, they could redo the brakes.
Sure.
So if you got a good gunsmith and he took a look at that and the action was true and, you know, the bore is good, you know, yeah, you could conceivably shoot with a gun for hundreds of years, right? Guns don't, They don't necessarily go bad.
Right, they don't expire.
Right, and especially because all the stuff, like the trigger and the action and all that different stuff is replaceable. So you can just like, it's compartmentalized. It's components. That's the other thing. They said that he took it apart and then put it back together again. Shut the fuck up. Do you know how much time it would take to do that if you were highly skilled?
To disassemble a gun.
To disassemble a rifle so that you can get it in a backpack. And by the way, not going to fit. Not going to fit.
In a backpack.
And then somehow or another reconnects it once he gets off the roof? What? What's that about?
Is that what they pitched, huh?
Yeah. And then he's supposed to get it in that stupid fucking backpack. It's literally, it makes no sense.
And the elevator music was a nice touch, by the way, wasn't it?
So
in the months before he died, Charlie outlined how an assassination should be examined. And in that plan, he actually named the nation. Many now suspect was involved. In the year leading up to his death, Charlie had moved toward a more America First stance, urging less aid to Israel. A month before he died, he told Megyn Kelly he feared his Israeli donors and described walking a minefield trying to satisfy both his backers and his audience.
Great. Charlie Kirk, before he died, literally gave us the blueprint of how to go about investigating his death. Take a listen.
I think the best reading of what happened there is who wanted JFK dead the most. Again, a lot of people said Israel wanted JFK dead. I'd love to hear that argument. But definitely Lyndon Baines Johnson and parts of our own government and the Cubans wanted him dead. And who actually made it happen? There were like 15 or 20 things that happened that day that were inexcusable. They changed the parade route. He rode in an open air convertible. LBJ decided not to ride alongside of him. The vehicle slowed down right when it went by the Texas School Book Depository. A lot there, right? And then again, I think that all of us are smarter to believe that it was simply Lee Harvey Oswald.
To Charlie Kirk's point, right? There's clearly weird things, oddities that happened on that day, similar to what happened to JFK, right?
One user on X put it this way: Charlie's life proved one thing: virtue terrifies the corrupt. They mocked his hope, his faith, his generosity, and that made him a threat to those in power. That is why he had to be stopped. The Kirk family and this country were blessed. Charlie predicted his own fate. He left warnings and a blueprint, yet many questions remain because some truths emerge slowly and some betrayals are buried deep. If you want to explore the mysteries around Turning Point USA and the lead up to Charlie's death, subscribe, turn on notifications, and join us as we piece this story together step by step. If you want to stay on top of every twist in this story and follow the truth wherever it leads, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Turn on your notifications and stick with us here on Taylor Tells All, because we're not stopping until every piece of this puzzle is uncovered.